Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So let's go ahead and let's begin. Okay, taking a step aside. And allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, one card. Okay, so the first card out is the Wheel of Fortune. This is pretty powerful when I get the Wheel of Fortune as the first card out. And you may not feel like anything super powerful is happening in your life, so let me explain this card. When we have the Wheel of Fortune, oftentimes we can see the evidence of what I'm about to talk about in our 3D, and the evidence of it is going to be lots of little changes that are happening on the interim of our sort of like corner of existence, so just on the outside of our periphery, that don't necessarily seem like they affect us. Some things may reach in and seem like they affect us, like for example if you need a new car, but this is, or you know, like your wheel goes flat or something, but this can be like, for example, lots of little changes in the office, or somebody that's really close to you is having major life changes, and you just have a lot of people around you that have things like that. It's like where the outside external energies are starting to shift and change, and it may not necessarily always affect you. What happens when we have the Wheel of Fortune is these are very deep spiritual energies, and the deeper we go into our spiritual energy, the less it's about the individual and more it's about the pattern and the collective and the way that we're interwoven. So the changes that happen on those deep internal processes, they can sometimes affect the people around us because they're connected in at that deep level as well. We share that space with them. And so there's something here where this may be what someone is experiencing. It's like all this change is happening to all these people around me. It's not necessarily happening for me. Maybe some of it is happening for you. I do see some of these clouds over on this section. So there may be certain things that are starting to interweave closer into that centrifugal force. And for me, that centrifugal force is the individual. It's like it's the ego identity, whereas out here what we get, where all the change is actually shifting, is more inside the collective. So there's this very powerful energy that this ultimately changes the fabric and the foundation for an individual. It's like it's a type of shift that it really sets the soil for the seeds that you plant. And when we have the Wheel of Fortune, we could look at it two ways, right? On one hand, it's a wheel that really represents that everything is in its divine time and its divine process. On the other hand, it represents that something's going somewhere as a wheel. It's like we're moving and we're traveling to someplace. You may know where that place is, you may not. When we have the wheel, it's also reminiscent, and it will show up inside of dreams sometimes. It's like, for example, Ferris wheel. And so getting some insight that's high and overlooks a great distance, and then dipping back down so that you can take that knowledge with you. So there's this coming up for air and then going back down to do the work that someone may be experiencing also in tandem to these changes that are happening on the exterior of their reality. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands. Okay. There is sort of this message that's coming through that this movement and this change is happening because of the willpower of not just yourself, but quite possibly different people and different points within the collective. When we have the Ace of Wands, this is the magician's tool. This is the magician's wand. And this directly relates to our willpower and our where our vision directs our willpower. This is, with this crow sitting on top, he's looking towards the past. And so that tells me that this is a willpower that was sort of seeded in the past. And this is something that's coming into fruition. There's a time of sort of like uncertainty that's on this wheel with the smoke, right? And oftentimes when it's concealed, when something is concealed in that uncertainty, it's like when you cover a seed over with soil, that's where the magic happens. And so you may have forgotten all about this thing that you want, or this thing that you've willed, or this thing that you desire, and have gone about your life and not given it much thought, and now it's starting to sort of germinate on the outside edges of your reality. Okay. We have the Ten of Wands. I feel that for somebody, this is, because Wheel of Fortune can represent great time, something that takes a great time. And the Ten of Wands is very much about hard work, and really it's a card about struggle, but traditionally it was saving for a home. So it was the things that you put away and the things that you do and the things you burden yourself with because you know there's going to be a big outcome. And sometimes it can be when you have so many things that are vying for your attention that it's hard to carry the load of that willpower anymore. So you may have gone through that, whoever this message is for. I feel more so than that, this is about it taking a great time. So this is something that happened far in the past. It's like, oh, I forgot that I wanted that, but yeah, deep down inside, that's something that I always wanted. It's like there's movements that are starting to shift and take place because someone put the intention out there and really they set it and forget it. And this, different things inside with the appearance of the Wheel of Fortune, different things inside your life have been slowly navigating you there without your knowledge. Okay. Or maybe for some of you, you do know. I think some of you might be looking back right now with the Sun card and being like, aha, I see it now. And when we have the Sun card, notice how this raven's bringing this red, which is representative of willpower. He's bringing it into the future, and it's being illuminated by that sun. And there's something about this year, I think it's really this year where this is starting to be made manifest for a lot of people because of the presence of that horse with the sun and fire. Here with the flowers that are on the bottom here, when we have the sunflower, it's about the pattern, because when you look inside the sunflower, it's a perfect display of like mathematical patterns manifest. And, each one of those is a seed carrying new potential. And there's this energy that like somebody here, you had all these willpowers and all these things that you had wanted, and they became too hard to carry. And now you're seeing all these potentials start to manifest inside of your life. Towards the end of last year, I had been saying that as we approach midsummer this year, there's going to be very important energy. It's going to be almost like this manifestation of something for many people inside this collective. And we're starting to see traces of that inside the readings now. The last few readings that I've done, probably for the last maybe 2 weeks, have had heavy themes of manifestation. And now we're starting to see symbols that are showing us that the manifestation is starting to take place. I don't stutter normally. I mean, I'll say a lot, but I don't normally stutter. I'm noticing that I'm stuttering at this reading, which I think is the first time in my life. So someone here, you may be noticing that the energy is having a hard time moving through your body, or that you're stuttering when you speak, or for some of you, the throat chakra might be trying to clear. You might be, experiencing different energy where it's like the energy seems to be getting stuck in some ways. If that's the case, just pay attention to certain things that you're holding on to that maybe you need to let go of. Okay, because whatever we're holding on to here, especially within that mental space and within the heart space, this may be something that is kind of preventing us from allowing the free flow of energy, which I don't see harming this process. It's just that, we would like to be a little bit more flowy in this energy to be able to enjoy it a little bit better. Okay, I'm getting like this stare image. Here we go with the horse again, the fire horse again. So here we have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands really represents a very fast movement. So I think things are about to really pick up with somebody. If this resonates with you as a reading, something's about to really pick up. Just do yourself a favor and make sure that you have a game plan in place for when you burn out, because the Knight of Wands burns out. So, maybe schedule some time off, or come up with like a retreat that you do regularly, or something relaxing that you do regularly, whether it's just like going downtown and going to a bookshop with like a coffee, or, maybe taking a trip to a park and just sitting out in the sun for a little bit. There's something here that's really kind of telling me that there needs to be some sort of leisure that enters the picture instead of force. Because sometimes when things get moving, we're like, yeah, finally, let's just go. But the presence of the King of Wands means that it may be a fire that burns out real fast internally, just because we burn ourselves out. Okay. The Knight of Wands really does represent an abundance of passion. So if there's something that you were passionate about, that you're seeing that the wheels are starting to move on, you're definitely going to regain that passion for this again. Here we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, power to loose, power to bind. And so this is sitting directly opposite of the Wheel of Fortune. So that tells me that it really just required divine timing in order for this energy to move. It's like, again, divine timing doesn't just mean, it just, some alarm went off spiritually, and it's out of the oven. There's a whole baking process that had to happen. There's a whole, like, you know, resting, kneading, leavening. Like, everybody had to go through some sort of process in order for the ground to be right. Maybe previously you didn't have certain skills, right, that you need in order to make this happen. Maybe previously you didn't have the fortitude or the stick-to-it-withness in order to make this happen, and now you do. And this is what really causes divine time, is when everything that is required for the thing to be successful is ready. The only thing that we kind of need to worry about is making sure that we're, how do I want to put it? It's like we have the patience not to burn ourselves out. Here we go. And then we have the King of Cups. Yeah, I see a lot of emotion about this. And I feel almost that someone is dreaming about it now, or someone is starting to have the experience of, like, psychic information coming from a very deep space. When we have this King of Cups, this is quite possibly, with combination of the Knight of Wands, this is quite possibly a very creative thing for some of you. It's like a creative phase that's coming in. Creativity can look like a lot of things. Like, traditionally when I talk about creativity, if I say traditional creativity, I mean like music and the arts. But creativity can be like coming up with, like, for me, it manifests in like science experiments. It could be cooking for you. It could be gardening. It could be, the way you arrange your bookshelf. Some of you earth signs. But yeah, just, creativity can look like anything. So this is just a very creative energy. It's whatever it is that you feel utilizes your creative potential. There seems to be something with that, with whatever it is that's truly manifesting inside of your life. For some of you, it will be heart related. It will be emotional. But most of you, because of the King of Wands, I am feeling creativity. Okay. We have the Five of Cups. So yeah, there was definitely disappointment about this in the future when we kind of like stepped away from the idea of it. Some of you may have felt like it was never going to happen. Okay. And the energy that you're moving into now is the Seven of Swords. This is where we have the Hierophant of the Seven of Swords. And I'm reading this not in traditional cartomancy. I'm reading this like the tarot. With the Seven of Swords, this is kind of self-sabotage, right? This is where we may be like trying to keep ourselves safe, and usually we're trying to keep ourselves safe from this kind of energy, feeling too disappointed. And so we may have bound it up for a little while, and now it's being opened up by, it's almost like a higher power, right? Because it's divine timing. It's being opened up by the universe itself, because now it's time. And here we have the Five of Wands. There may be a little bit of conflict about that. You may be a little conflicted about that. It feels like this not coming in when someone wanted it to, or in the situation that they wanted it to, it feels like it really knocked the wind out of someone's sails, and they really gave up. They probably gave, that's a very heavy energy there. It can be. And when it's touching these two cards, I think that's a pretty heavy disappointment that came to somebody. It could be in terms of a marriage. It could be in terms of something that was official. And so this is one, even like an official contract with something creative. And so this is something that, like, I think that, a person never really expected to go back to. They never really thought that they were going to pursue this again, and suddenly it's like here. Suddenly it's like on the doorstep. So this is really a beautiful energy. The only conflict that I see going forward in the future, again, is the conflict to oneself of, now it's finally here and I always wanted this. Let me have patience and let it develop organically, rather than trying to force it and push it and like burning myself out. So if you find that you are exhibiting this energy, just make sure that you take time for yourself, and that you schedule a day off occasionally, or schedule some time where you're not engaging in the thing, so that you can get a breather and you can let the energy kind of breathe, so that it continues to develop rather than running out. So whoever's message this is, I wish you the best of luck with this, and if it resonates with you, feel free to like this video, and until next time.